it pretty bluntly with this quote. He believed in strictly limiting government for sure, but he saw that limited role as absolutely essential. For him, being against government interference in the market didn't make you an anarchist, it just meant you believed in the rule of law. And that brings us to the biggest counterargument against a purely private society, the idea of market failure. It's the concept that free markets, left to their own devices, sometimes fail to create the best results for society. I mean, how does a purely private system solve a huge problem like pollution from a factory? The costs like dirty air get forced onto people who never agreed to the deal. It's a central point of debate, and frankly, there's no easy answer. So let's bring this all back to the ultimate vision. If this society isn't born from some big revolution, what's the final destination? And how in the world do we get there? The ideal, the end goal, is a society that's completely free from this kind of institutionalized conflict. It's a world where every single interaction is voluntary and all scarce resources are under private control, managed by people cooperating with each other for their own mutual benefit. And this brings us full circle, right back to where we started with Tolstoy. The path forward isn't a violent political revolution, it's a quiet, intellectual one. It happens when people, one by one, start to feel like they don't need the state's protection anymore, and eventually when they become ashamed to even think of using its power against other people. So in the end, we're left with this huge question. Is the state, like Hayek might say, a necessary evil, a framework we need to prevent chaos and protect freedom? Or is it, as Hoppe and Tolstoy would argue, the single biggest obstacle standing in the way of a truly peaceful, just, and voluntary society? That right there is the heart of the whole debate. So, let's just jump right in.
Hey guys, welcome.
Pedro. Sorry, Lucas.
Cheers.
How's it going?
Yeah, running around. All good here. Welcome, Mohammed, as well. I never know, is it Mohammed, Mustafa? What do you prefer?
Yeah, any of them, Mohammed or Mustafa, I'm fine.
Okay. So I started with this video that I had been meaning to share with the group here. I'm not sure if you, Mark, you came in exactly at the point they were talking about anarchy. Not sure if that means something.
Yeah, perfect. Well, yeah,
But
he's right. A lot of the attitudes that get labelled as anarchist attitudes are not. They're just reasonable attitudes, you know. Like separation of. Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, it's just something I came across on Noster, and I think it's interesting. I need to review it a bit because I was juggling windows here as well. So I'm not going to ask us to debate in depth, but I'm going to drop it on our Miro board and leave it as something to maybe go by and have a second look from time to time, because we're here trying to. I'm not going to say invent governance or something like that, but there's so much that we are not reviewing, at least, the average Cardano citizen, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was just multitasking there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we do have Mustafa here to talk a bit about something that he shared with on the Catalyst chats. So I'm not sure as well. We have some things that we've been meaning to do, like as a recurring action items, or I have them here. By the way, there's for both of you, there's pinned links on the chat if you want to come on the Miro board. And for Mustafa, who's first time here, there's this Google Sheet where you can sign up to drop us your profile so that we can network. So those are both on the chat. I'm not sure if you can see them. I'm curious, are you on the laptop or are you just on your phone, Mustafa?
Yeah, so right now I'm on my mobile.
Okay.
Yeah, currently having some little power outage here, so I want to manage my
That's fine.
phone for now.
Yeah, so we'll be in touch, and am I okay to add your profile, your X profile here, and your name?
Yes, Yes, no
Yeah,
problem.
cool. So I'll do that soon, and I'll just leave a placeholder here so I can remember that. And so, like I was saying, if we put this to the side and this too for now, this we can leave aside as well. So there's this Miro board where I try to keep things fairly organized, or at least keep a record of things that we may want to come back to. And on the section here about preparing topics for today, I've already dropped a screenshot of what we were just seeing. There's a link here to Nostr using the Primal application, consulting the Nostr protocol. So I invite you to have a look directly there. And if you get familiar with it, maybe you want to even zap the author some Satoshis. So maybe let's, like I was saying, we have, what do we call them? Recurring call segments. Maybe let's look at them in a second. But for now, maybe we can jump straight into this topic here. So I picked up this message by Mustafa on the Catalyst Network chat, and I'm not going to read it end to end, but this sentence here came, caught my eye, and so I'm not sure if you're happy to just restate this and speak freely. Maybe it's even better if I take it off screen. Are you at ease to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to take it off screen, or do you want to read through or something like that?
Well, anyway, I mean, I wrote that comment, so if you want to keep it, you want to take it off. Both works by me. It was just a lamentation I put across regarding the community review process, because I was thinking that the recent concluded Fund 15 had a lot of issues with the moderation stages, where a lot of people had their reviews flagged, and
Mm-hmm.
reasons were being excluded by threshold, and also proposals were also being flagged by them at the moderation stages, and the reasons were not so convincing to the proposers. I myself, together with my partner here in Ghana, we submitted a proposal and we got the email that thank you for your submissions, but your proposal didn't make it to the ballot. And we were not so convinced with the reasons that were being stated for that. And that's why I was suggesting that we need to have a two-way to look into these community review processes, so that at least when the moderators do their flagging, the proposers can also look at the reasons or the rationales that have been stated for the flags, and then they can decide to contest the feedback, or they try to agree to that. But if Catalyst takes it upon themselves to, or at their discretion, to just listen to the moderators and then flag proposals or flag reviews, that wouldn't be so appealing to the community. And as an ecosystem as we are, we need to be very tolerant. We need to decentralize our decision making processes, and that makes us a decentralized governance. And that's why I was thinking that we should have a two-way to look at this, so that we can wholly belong to the review process. And I also indicated that Catalyst is such an amazing experiment, and obviously it has benefited most of us. Personally, I have been a funded proposer for quite some time now, and I've been able to grow the Ghanaian community to over 5,000 database of Cardano enthusiasts. And we've been doing so much. We know that things can differ differently, between iterations, but we need to collectively look at activities in a more transparent manner. And that's what I put across. I think the Catalyst team reacted to that, and of course said they will still release an aggregator file or document that will have the reasons in detail. But up until now, I still stand that, because we as community leaders, managing people and even local communities for Cardano community in our respective locations, such as Tamale, Ghana, we take comments, we take issues from the people, because sometimes it's difficult for them to all write email inquiries to the Catalyst team. So the first people they contact is we as Cardano ambassadors, those of us that are community leaders. You see the grassroots contact us. Okay, I got my reviews flagged. All my reviews under midnight were flagged, and they said excluded by threshold. I got my proposal flagged, and I'm not so convinced by the reasons. How do we address this? So that's why I took it upon myself as a Cardano ambassador and as a leader of the Cardano Ghana community to put this message across onto the Catalyst network chat, so that at least even if it's not addressed, but it's an issue that I have raised, and maybe when the Catalyst team is also meeting internally, they can look into this, and that's why I put it across. So I
Yeah.
think we can discuss this further. Yeah. And,
Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. I was making notes here about, for example, you're a Cardano ambassador.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and you've been in the space for a while. You've had funded proposals. You have like track record, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it feels like you should at least have some visibility on how things are working, or the reasons and rationale. But I think what's also coming to mind is like the Catalyst team doesn't really have ability to go one by one discussing endlessly with each proposer, right? If they have hundreds of proposals. So from my point of view, I feel like I keep talking about decentralizing the process, making it more transparent, and I think that's a bit what you were talking about here as well,
Yeah.
to try
Yeah.
to be more crowdsourcing the work, and being able to see everything that was said, that was the feedback, reviews that you've gotten. Yeah, I didn't realize that there was a document to be released, but it still hasn't happened, right? This was already like a few days ago, right?
It still hasn't happened, and this time around, Fund 15 seems to be facing quite some setbacks. Voting was supposed to be done by now, but voting is still, in suspense. It's still in suspense. We don't know. But as you highlighted, yes, I've got a lot of insight into how the Catalyst team operates. I know it's sometimes the proposals and reviews will become so overwhelming for them to look individually to all issues, and that's why they give generic statements. I'm just looking at the email right now for the proposal flagging,
Yeah.
and I want to read that out. There. So the email that came was that first of all they want to extend. They said they want to extend their thank you for being an active part of the Catalyst community and submitting your proposal to Fund 15. The passion and creativity shown across over 700 submissions have been truly inspiring to see. And they continue to say, with such a high volume of proposals, a rigorous moderation stage is essential to ensure the integrity and quality of the ecosystem. And following an extensive bounty program review by both our community and internal teams, we have the difficult task of letting you know that your proposal was not selected to advance to the Fund 15 voting ballot. The decision was made because the submission was found to be outside the established compliance and eligibility guidelines for this round. This outcome is final, and that's what they added. And then the reasons were highlighted. So most of the reasons were that misalignment with the brief. Then the second reason is verification and credibility, and then compliance and jurisdictional limits, participation limits, catalyst standard, and then administrative issues. But my partner, I wish he was here. My partner personally said he doesn't see any issue we have in terms of all these points that have been raised, because we are good standing. We didn't submit more than the number of proposals, up to 6 or 5. No, we just
Mm-hmm.
had only 2 submissions, and we don't also have a pending project in Catalyst that they may say that we have to complete the pending project before we are eligible to propose in the current fund. And of course, too, we are very credible. We are very vibrant on X. We post our activities,
Yeah, but
and we have a track record on even some of us are known to them personally. And
so
misalignment with brief, of course, we ensure that, yeah, we submit the proposal to the right challenge category.
So you have no idea what could be the cause
No, yeah,
so far.
absolutely, absolutely, yes, yeah. But
And
I think we should.
but eventually they will release like all the because I am confused about this myself. Sometimes there's the community reviewers, but then there's like the level ones and level twos, I think, right?
Mm,
And
yeah, there's level zero, level one, level two.
yeah, thanks. And but we don't have visibility on all the reviews until level two, do we? Or is that something that we've had in past funds?
No, until you mean the feasibility on as well for level two?
Could you say
I
again?
don't get it.
So my question is, if we can see the comments that the one and level two reviewers have put in.
Yeah, yeah, we are able to see that. We are able to see all that in the aggregator file. You know, there is anonymous. It's a coding system. They use put
Mhm.
the reviewer IDs and all that. And the bounty, you know, they introduced the moderation bounty for level two. And I participated in that during Fund 14 in the moderate the bouncy program, and I was able to like flag one or two proposals. So I believe this is where the problem actually comes from the bouncy program, allowing level two reviewers to flag proposals, proposals that goes against the capitalist set standards or set guidelines, and level two moderators are able to flag some proposal. But my issue is that if these things are flagged before a decision is made to consider, I mean, to determine whether proposals will make it to the ballot or not, there should be
Mhm.
a two-way. At least proposers should be made known that okay, their proposals are going to be flagged, and these are the reasons and that. So once they agree, then the decision will now be made finally so that they know that okay, yes, I was shown my reason that this is what is making my proposal not to make it to the ballot, and I've
Yeah.
agreed. But Catalyst will basically like listen to the bounty participants and then make a decision. So that's where my issue was. We are not against. I mean, I'm not saying they are not doing their work. They've done their work very well. I mean, they've decentralized it. They've allowed level two moderators to flag proposals, but at least proposers should be given the reasons before a decision is taken. For proposals to be loaded onto the ballot.
Yeah.
But going with the one way in the sense that listening to only the level two, reviewers on the bounty program isn't ideal. I feel that we can have more moderation window during the bounty program stage, where we have the
Okay.
proposers and then level two moderators all participating hand in hand before a collective decision is taken there.
Okay. Um, so I'm making notes, and hopefully we can review them and wrap up the topic a bit, because obviously we're not going to be able to give you much feedback here either. We're just creating a space for debate and for you to publish
Yeah,
your feedback instead of just
that's
a
good.
message on one chat and Telegram. Um,
Yeah.
so
Thanks
my,
for
from
that. At least your platform is good, and I mean, it will carry our message across to other ecosystem platforms.
Yeah, we
So
need
that's good.
different formats, different spaces, and I'm sure before I'm not sure before we move on if you have any view on this, Mark.
I'm not too deep in Catalyst, but I mean, I like what you say there. Just the review process needs to be somewhat. I didn't realize you didn't get access to certain feedbacks and things, for example. So having a more transparent feedback process generally, I'm pushing for that, makes complete sense.
So, from what I understand, you don't have visibility on that feedback yet, and you're already excluded, and eventually it will be made public, right, Mustafa?
You mean I don't have say again, please? Say
Could you
again,
say?
Lucas.
Oh, Mark was saying in terms of not having visibility, so not being able to see what reviewers, what moderators
Yeah.
wrote about your proposal. Just to confirm a second time, it will be made public, even for the L2 moderators. You will know sooner or later, right?
Oh yes, yes, yes. That's what Catalyst promised.
Yeah.
That nothing is going to be hiding, be being hidden. So
So, but the problem, and maybe it's a good time for me to bring up my notes. They're a bit rough, I'm just making notes as I go. But I think the problem is around here, this line here. So, you're pointing out they created a bounty program. Is this new
yeah,
for
it's
L2s?
quite new. Started from
Okay,
14.
okay.
So it's a bounty. It's reward. It's a new program
Hmm.
brought to incentivize to inspire moderators, level two reviewers
Yeah,
to help assess the catalyst team flag proposals that are that goes against the proposal submission guidelines. Then they get the proposals flagged before they make it to the ballot. So they brought it up. It's a gamified, no, it's a rewarded role. So but it's not compulsory. Any level two moderator who feel like participating in the bounty program can do that, and then you are rewarded in ADA for your
yeah,
participation. Yeah, but it looks so simple, but its outcome is very very important because at the end of the day, the bounty program ends up determining which proposal make it to the ballot, and that I feel that it shouldn't be taken lightly.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, so I've written it down here, like in terms of like two-way communication before proceeding, more moderation
before
window.
proceeding.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I think overall things have been a bit more loosely managed, and now they're trying to tighten the criteria, and they put this in place. But it's the same way you're here with this situation. There are, I don't know, hundreds of other proposals, right, that are in the same situation as you. So yeah, eventually things could be published. I totally agree. Either at least I'm not sure in terms of the two-way communication, because capacity to go one by the Catalyst team may be limited, right?
maybe limited. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So it's
But
tricky,
yeah,
right?
yes. But
Uh,
we have catalyst. We have the moderation. We have the reviewer model.
mhm.
I don't know if they can create a solution like the reviewer model where because I now know that we have full control of the proposal platform. We now use the Catalyst Project Catalyst.io platform. So Catalyst now has full control over it. We no longer use a third party platform, ideascore.com. We are now on our own Catalyst
Yes,
Project
yeah,
Catalyst.io. Yeah. Yeah, so we can programmers can basically create a page in terms of the proposals, and there can be something like a dashboard or discussion board where bounty moderators and then proposers are able to discuss among themselves, just as we do as milestone reviewers. So I am a milestone reviewer and I review projects. Milestones. Once they submit their proof of achievement or statement of milestones, I review that, and then it's also two-way. So when I review, there's a discussion, board where I can put a comment there, and the
mm,
proposer or project owner basically comes and read. I mean, they can even see the rationale that either I reject the proof of achievement or I reject or I accept the evidence that they submitted for the particular milestone. So just as we do as the milestone model, I think that this can also be replicated in the proposal,
yeah.
submission stages. Yeah, because we don't
Cool.
have an issue there. We don't
Yeah,
have an issue. If a funder proposal submit an evidence, once we reject or we accept it, the proposal will be fine because it's clear they are part of the process. They see our reason. They see the reviewer reason for rejecting the proposal, and they can resubmit. They can resubmit the milestone, evidence. But one other problem of the proposal stage is that proposals are not given the chance to even polish up or correct the mistakes. So a decision is just made. Once it's finally taken, it means this proposal is not going to the ballot, and you don't have any chance again to correct it. If there's an issue, at least
Yeah,
you can allow you can tell the
I think
proposer, okay, yeah,
I,
these are the
I think
flags.
overall, maybe the Catalyst team has had to manage this in terms of, okay, for this round you're moderated out, and you'll know, and your recourse is to run again on the next fund. To be honest, with all the what we've spoken and knowing the reality of Catalyst, I wouldn't be surprised if that's their position, right? But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
I think this part here could be good. Catalyst could be publishing the rationale and for flagging the proposal and being moderated out,
Maybe
right?
that out. Yeah,
Um, so because this is something that's impacting here for sure, right?
yeah,
The next point that I wanted to touch on is like decentralizing this as a protocol, so allowing um, I don't know, allowing people a bit like more in a social network. People can just comment on your
yeah.
proposal,
Allowing allowing the allowing community leaders, local community leaders and members, especially community leaders,
yeah.
it's
Maybe
important.
like I think they're eventually going to be using the DREP system as well, right? So to be
Okay.
able
Yeah.
to say, okay, me and my delegators are, or a DREP speaking on behalf of his delegators to
Delegates.
vote
Yeah.
or maybe even to review. That could be
So
a way of
yeah, for
decentralizing it.
absence.
But and the bottom line for me is like for now, it's selection by Catalyst, including the reviewers, versus selection by Cardano voting. And yeah, we should ideally start coming more to this, right? So instead of using a specific team with a specific list of people, it would be good if it was really, really decentralized in terms of everyone gets to vote on. Well, it's the way, in a way, this is what happens afterwards, right? If you make it into
Mm,
the voting phase, but I
stage.
don't know. Yeah, I think in a way, this is all due to them trying to funnel things, and it was bound to happen when the goal is to go from 1,500 proposals to 600 or 400 proposals. Yeah, it was bound to filter a bit some things that maybe don't make so much sense to be filtered,
Yeah.
and to be without bandwidth to provide feedback on that. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I
Yeah.
can't think of sharing anything else, any more views on this. Mark, anything?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mustafa, go on.
I was just saying that yeah, of course, some proposals definitely needs to be flagged
Yeah.
because of their content. Some of them are totally, lack of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are not really having enough detail to the
Mm-hmm.
proposal, and some are so generic that they are not specific. The scope of the proposals are not really in alignment with the Cardano focus. And definitely these proposals as well. You personally, when you sometimes when you are reading through proposals, you can just know that yeah, some of these proposals, and of course, some people used to also use AI to just basically write their proposals, and that really doesn't sound well. Of course, AI is there to enhance our work, make us more efficient and effective, but we cannot totally rely on it to, especially when we want to originate or create ideas. And so you see that there's some lack of effort. People just want to duplicate things, or maybe even plagiarize other people's ideas and submit it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so justifiably, it is such proposals. Once they are taken off, this is fine.
I think
But I
both
just feel that yeah. Mhm.
both angles are valid, right? There's coming back to the Miro board, for example. There's reasons for the moderation. It's frustrating that you can't really just interact more and iterate on this fund about your idea, but eventually it would be good if we have more space for two-way communication and community input at large. I also even think of endorsement to your proposal by others. So it just comes back almost to that upvoting, downvoting type of dynamics that we used to have. And I think that there's a lot of space to improve. That's basically it. I'm just trying to drop my notes onto the board. And yeah, I can't think of saying much more, Mustafa. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming by, and you're very welcome to
All
stay
right.
for the whole call, because we just have 20 minutes more. And just trying to drop this without formatting, but I'll leave it here like that for now, and maybe I can
Okay.
tidy it up later. So what we're
I'm
gonna
very
do,
grateful too, Lucas. Yeah, I'm very grateful. I know you've been, very consistent with this course, and I've missed some of the calls, but I hope that jump on from time to time. And I'm so
yes,
glad I've been able to make it today. Yeah, so that we look through this. That makes us, a collective, ecosystem participants. And I'm
it's
glad to also hear from Mark.
yeah. I invite you to take a look at what we've done in the previous calls. There's a playlist. I was dropping links for that in even in the Luma calendar schedulings. I'm going to continue doing the Luma calendar every week, so you can sign up, you can follow the calendar, and it's very free format.